In yesterday's class, we discussed about the reaction of acids with metal and reaction of bases with metal. So, for that, if you didn't saw that video, then go for watch it once. To children, in this video, I am going to explain reaction of acid with metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates. Children, clear? So here reaction of acids with carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates. So here hydrogen carbonates. So children, in this case, when acids are reacts with the carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates, they can form the salt, carbon dioxide and water. So the general equation first I am writing before going to explain the topic. Simply I am writing now acid plus carbonates can produce as the salt plus CO2, carbon dioxide plus water. So water. In words you have to write simple acid plus carbonates, they can produce as the salt, carbon dioxide and water. In the same manner, when acid can react with the metal hydrogen carbonates, they can produce as the again same thing, salt plus carbon dioxide plus water. So we have to remind this children, this is the very important. On that time, when the acid can react with the metal, what we can get? Salt plus hydrogen. So in this case now here, when acid reacts with the carbonates, then salt can form, carbon dioxide can form and water also liberated, formed. Same thing here, when acids are reacts with the carbonates and hydrogen carbonates, what we get products? Carbon dioxide, salt and water. So in this activity we have to explain the same thing. Clear? So children, as for the activity, first we have to take the two test tubes. In that test tubes, we have to take the 0.5 grams of carbonate. One in first test tube, 0.5 grams of carbonates, and in next one 0.5 grams of metal hydrogen carbonate. Test tube A and test tube B. Clear? We have to take the two test tubes. One is A, next one is B. In test tube A, we have to take the carbonate, and that carbonate should be here sodium carbonate we have to take. In the second test tube, we have to take the sodium hydrogen carbonate. Clear? The experimental setup should be shown like this. First we have to take the test tube A. Clear? First we have to take the test tube A. This is the test tube A we are taking. In that what we have? What do you have? Sodium carbonate there. and here we are fixing some retard stand here. This is the retard stand. Labeling the parts very important, children. And the rubber cork has some 2 slits that should be fixed here. This is the rubber cork. For that 2 slits are there. In the first slit we have to keep some funnel, distal funnel. So already what you have granules there, I mean sodium carbonate granules there, and in the second slit we have to fix some delivery tube. So here the should be we have to keep in another test tube. Already that should be having some calcium hydroxide solution is there, aqueous solution is there. So this is the experimental arrangement. This is what retard stand. This is retard stand. Labeling so important, children. And this is what delivery tube. And this is what test tube A. Test tube A. And this is what distal funnel. So here this is the experimental setup. Retard stand, this is funnel, and this is delivery tube, and this is rubber cork, and this is what sodium carbonate 0.5 grams of 0.5 grams we are saying means that is solid. Clear? That should be taken here, and delivery tube must be keeps in such a way that there should be in another test tube that should be having some solution of calcium hydroxide. This is the experimental arrangement. After that we have to take the dilute HCl and that should be poured with the help of the funnel. Clear? So up to some level we have to pour some. This is what dilute HCl. Clear? We have to keep the we have to pour the HCl with help of the funnel. Then the reactions happen between the sodium carbonate and HCl. Then here I am showing here now the reaction should be like this. Na2CO3 plus HCl gives rise NaCl plus CO2 . This is delivery tube. The reaction should be like this. Na2CO3 plus HCl gives rise. What I have to write? This is salt NaCl plus carbon dioxide plus H2O. Here equation should be like this. Now balance the equation. Here that means when HCl is reacting with the sodium carbonate, what we are getting? NaCl, salt, carbon dioxide, gas, and water. So that is the reaction happening between, in this case, between sodium carbonate and HCl. So here Na2CO3 is solid, HCl is the aqueous, and NaCl is solid, and again CO2 carbon dioxide gas, and this is the liquid. NaCl also aqueous. So this is the reaction between the HCl and that sodium carbonate. Children, again very important topic this is. So compared to last video activity and this is the activity, in these two one must be in the every year public examination paper. That's why very careful. Look at the diagram also here. Simply what is the procedure? First we have to take the two test tubes. In the test tube A we have to drop the 0.5 grams of sodium carbonate, and that should be fitted like this in as it is in diagram. So the rubber cork is for that, two slits are there. Through that one funnel should be inserted and one delivery tube should be inserted, and now that is fixed to the one retired stand. Clear? And the delivery tube must be made to set into the another test tube that should be having some calcium hydroxide. Clear, children? And after that we have to pour some HCl through the funnel. Then the sodium carbonate should be reacts with the HCl like that. Then what we are getting? NaCl aqueous solution and carbon dioxide, and now H2O is there. So after that the CO2, what it is, that should be going to the calcium hydroxide. Then what happening there? Let us see here. Calcium hydroxide plus CO2 plus CO2. The CO2 is, that should be goes through the delivery tube and that should be again react with the calcium hydroxide. Then what we get? CaCO3 plus H2O. CaCO3 plus H2O. Here this CaCO3 is precipitate, undissolved. That should be undissolved white precipitate will be formed. That should be what we call here calcium carbonate. So again to make them dissolve, here we have to add some more CaCO3 plus H2O plus CO2. For that, if we can add some more carbon dioxide, then what we get here? CaHCO3 taken twice. CaHCO3 taken twice will be formed. That means calcium bicarbonate will be formed. Now this can be going to be dissolved. Here CaCO3 is the precipitate, that is the undissolved. When we are adding some more additional carbon dioxide to that, that should be make to dissolvable. Then what we get? Calcium bicarbonate will be created or produced or formed. So this is happening in between the calcium hydroxide and carbon dioxide. Clear, children? So this is belongs to the reaction between the acid and carbonates. If you want to go for next thing, what it is? Reaction between the acid and metal hydrogen carbonate. Now we have to do the same experimental procedure. Now we have to keep here now test tube B. Again same thing what we did say. Again we have to pour the HCl, and again the reaction should be happening between the here sodium hydrogen bicarbonate to the HCl. That should be shown like this. NaHCO3 plus HCl gives rise NaCl plus CO2 plus H2O. Again same thing here. Same. We have to repeat the same procedure by using test tube B. In test tube B, what you have? Sodium hydrogen carbonate is there, and again we are adding some HCl. Then what we are producing? What we are getting? Again NaCl, CO2 and H2O. Again as usual, again the CO2 is liberated. That CO2 should be mixed with some calcium hydroxide. Again what we are adding? CaCO3 precipitate. Again to make them dissolve, we have to add some more amount of CO2. Clear, children? So again same thing we are getting. That means here from this activity what you have to conclude, the children, is when acids are reacts with the carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates, then what we are getting, they can produce the salt, carbon dioxide and water. So this is the conclusion from this activity, children. So very important topic in SSC examination point of view. The question should be like this. The first direct question is, what is the reaction of acids with the metals and metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates? Explain with one activity. You have to write the same thing. That is the first direct question. And draw the diagram for the reaction between the acid and metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates and label the parts. Then go for diagram. You have to draw the diagram and you have to label the parts. That is the second type of question. That is also 4 marks question. And third one, name or write the parts or write the apparatus. Write the apparatus required to do the activity between acids and metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates. What are the apparatus required, he was asking. Then to explain that also, again you have to draw the diagram and label the parts. This is also 4 marks question. If the same activity, it will come for 2 marks or 1 marks, simply he will give the parts. For example, he was not given some portion, he left something. So, and the diagram will be was given, but labels are not there. So then label the diagram. Then you have to write the parts. So the same concept is there, but way of questioning is different. That's why, children. So I hope you understand. From this activity, you have to conclude that when the acids are reacts with the metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates, they can produce the salt, carbon dioxide and water. I hope you children, you understand the topic. So children, like and share the video and subscribe to my channel for the latest updates. So don't waste your time by simply sitting in your houses. You watch the videos and learn the subject. See you children, and we will meet in the next video with next topic. Bye. Take care.